Right, there you go. Hopefully my phone works now. Right, beautiful. So, before it goes dark, this is an Alice Chalmers knife section there. You can see the Alice A. The part number is 1116939. They're hard to find now because obviously Alice haven't been built in this country since the sort of 1970 sort of time. That's a Massey knife section, and the actual holes and the width are the same, so you can make them to fit. The bloke I bought my short back Gleaner off taught me this. So Massey part number 206236M1. So that would be for like a, well, these were actually bought from Massey 525. The Alice knife section diameter, so just for information, like 75mm wide, 50mm centre to centre of the holes, and 72mm tall. So when you put them in a vise, you line the holes up. You put them in a vise, line the holes up, and then you grind it to shape. What I suggest you do is make one Massey section and then use that for a pattern, and you make them all from that one. Make it so yeah, you put it in a vise, make sure the holes are lined up, and cut it down to size. And that's what I've done with some of these. Some of these are originals, but that's actually a Massey section there with the ends cut off of it. Look. So this is my sickle servicer. This does two jobs. It actually clicks these off, which I'll show you in a minute. You'd punch the old rivet out, and then it actually crimps it on. You can't do that with a headstock. You have to, with the headstock, you can't knock it off and put it back on with that. You have to do that by manual, but you just grind it. You just grind the rivets off. And obviously, bearing in mind, you have to make fresh end pieces. Well, you don't have to, but I'm doing that anyway. Just cut a section in half. The rivets, put them there. So longer rivets, obviously for the headstock. So that's the rivet. That's the rivet box. Got them from a local like ag dealership. They're the short ones. They're just standard ones for the rest of it. I'll have to open that box in a second. Right. So just to mention the purpose of this is the serrates at the edge of actually grip the crop as you cut it. Like the barley I found was, because it's spring barley, was drilled quite lightly on the ground, and it was pulling up, and it was getting clogged in. And you know, the knife isn't too bad, but I want to give myself every opportunity to get it cutting nicely. And these serrates here prevent the cut material, the crop, when it's being cut, from like trying to escape. It sort of grabs it and like cuts it. And right, so I think that's all I wanted to mention. Like I say, I've already laid out all of these all ready to go. I think I'm going to put these down on the floor so they don't go flying everywhere when I do this job. Right, that'll do. So there you go, put that at me when I'm talking. See, try not to press anything. Right, so this works like this. It's a bit of a one of them, but just get my punch. Oh dear. Yeah, never find anything. Excuse me a minute. Should have got my punch ready. I don't know where I put it. Oh dear. Oh well, I don't know if I'll ever see that again. I had it 2 minutes ago. Right, use a drill bit instead because I can't be bothered looking for that. Right, and then you tap these out. There you go, simple as that. And what I do is always brush the surface like clean the surface. Obviously I'll tap all those off as well in a later day. This is just to show you how this sickle servicer works. Clean all the rust off here, look. So, I know I should have been wearing goggles, but if I take any longer with this, it'll be dark. So now, it's the idea being cleaning the rust off, and any paint and dirt is so that you've got a nice clean surface to basically marry the two surfaces together, metal to metal, without any rubbish in between them. Excuse me, I'll just close this bin. When you're doing these, try and make sure that you've got a nice like level ground, so that when you do the riveting, you do it nice and evenly, and it presses the rivet down nice and straight. I found this out before when I was an apprentice. I you know, got moaned at a couple of times because it wasn't quite what they wanted. It wasn't quite straight like they wanted, which is fair enough. So when you're doing them, put one through like that. So you hold it, but you put it back the other way in a minute. But it's so that it holds it straight. So then you go into that groove, and then you press down like that, you see. Needs a bit more of an aggressive. There you go. I'll put a bar in there and do that a bit more aggressively in a second. But what does that mean? Look, what do I mean? So there you go. You get the point, get the message. So yeah, I just thought I'd share the idea with people, but bear in mind, just getting the way around it. If you want to find one of these sickle services, don't use them too much anymore because of obviously the bolt-on sections. But they are about, if you look on eBay, this one come off of eBay. I've had a couple of them. I'll give my mate one of them. But yeah, they're a useful tool. They save a lot of time, especially doing it like this. You wouldn't want to really do this by hand. But yeah, I'll see you again.